Yeah, good day everybody. You are welcome to my YouTube channel. As you've all known, my name is OPEYEMI AWOPETU. I am an organist, a pianist, and you've always seen me play. And this hour, I'm just going to showcase what this organ you've always seen online, what it does, and how it is designed. First and foremost, the name of the organ is Viscount, and the model is Unico 800. So it's a Viscount Unico 800 4 manual organ. And looking at the organ, we have 4 manuals. First and foremost, the first manual which you see here is called the choir manual. The next one is called a great manual. This one, the third one, is called the swell manual. And the last one here, we have the solo manual. Now you can see that the organ is on, but no sound, nothing. Unless I forget, at the ground level we have what we call the pedal board. So you can see a replica of what we have on the manuals here, the white and black. You also have the same thing down here, and each of the manual has 5 octaves, the 5-octave manual. And to further, on the choir manual, everything here is the stops. We call these stops, both right and left. So this side, we have the choir stops. So for instance now, if I want this choir manual, this first manual to sound, I'll just engage one of the stops here. For instance now, this. I don't know, maybe you can hear it sound. You have something like this. Then let me engage another one. So that's the way it is. So let me put it off. Nothing is coming up again. Then to the great manual, you have the selection of the stops here. This is for the great. You have, let me use second absent 8. Yeah, second absent 8. Let me turn it off. Then let me use, let me use this. So like that, and let me just add more. Discover that the sound comes up more. You see? So that's the way it is. Then for the swell manual, the stops are here. For the swell manual, the middle part here, we have the swell manual. So now for the swell manual, nothing is coming up. But if I engage, let me engage Gamba Celeste foot 8. You hear it sound like that. Let me also engage Gamba 8. Now I want to add more to it. You see, you can hear, okay, yeah. On the swell manual, that stop is called unison off. When I put on this unison off, the swell is not working again, so it disengages all other sound as unison off rather is on. So putting it off will make the sound to come out again. Putting it on will disengage everything. So that's the way it is. Then going to the solo manual, on this organ, we have the solo stops on both sides, this side and here. So let me engage for you now. Nothing is coming up, but look at this. This clarinet 8. Let me engage another one. Now we have the Viol Celeste. This one is softer, grand depths in 8. Let me engage everything for you now. So that's for the solo manual. All right, now you look at the pedal board. On the pedal board, we have the stops, the control for the stops. Now the pedal board rather is not going to sound anything now, but engaging, let me engage this. You hear a sound. Let me use trumpet 8. Let me have okay, this 8. Let me engage bass flute. Octave 8. Then we now have the lower flute notes here, like the bombard 16. Then contra bombard 32. That one will be very low. Very low. Alright. Now there is another set of knobs here called the couplers. You can see the couplers are all represented here. So the couplers actually transfers the sound of a particular manual to another one. For instance, now you have a grade to pedal. So that means that whatever I'm playing on this great manual, I can play it on the swell, on the pedal, and I'm going to demonstrate it. To start with, let me engage some stops on the grate. I'm going to engage some stops on the grate. There's nothing on the pedal loop. Now I want to couple what is on the grate to the pedal. I'm going to have the grate to pedal. The sound of the pedal will come out. Nothing is coming out from the pedal, but I actually transfer the sound of the grate to the pedal, and that's what you have in here. So that's one part of it. Then there's another area whereby I can transfer the sound of choir. Let me transfer the sound of choir to grate. I want to have something on the choir line, but there's nothing on the grate, nothing on the grate manual. So I'm going to select choir to grate. There's a portion here, choir to grate 8. So grate is going to come up because I've transferred the sound of this one to this side. Now the same thing happens to the swell. Let me engage something on the swell. But the grate is not going to work. I want to transfer to the grate. I will now have to do swell to grate. So this swell to grate. So grate, swell is sounding, grate to the sound. So that's what we do with the couplers. Then let me also do something with the solo manual. So the solo manual, rest are off. Okay, I've engaged something on the swell. Nothing is on the swell, nothing is on the grate, nothing is on the choir. So I want to engage this solo to the swell. So I'll just have solo to swell. Then solo to swell we now have. Then I also want the solo to come to the grate. Then I will have solo to grate also. Solo to grate. Same sound. Then I want it to also come to this choir. Then I will have solo also to choir. Where is solo to choir? This solo to choir. So the same sound. Transfers the sound of the manual to another. So for this particular organ now, you can transfer this solo manual to this, you can transfer solo to this, you can transfer solo to this, and also you can transfer swell to this and swell to this, and you can also transfer this one to this particular one, choir to grate, but you cannot transfer grate to any other one other than pedal based on the way it is arranged here. Lastly, before we go, you'll see some knobs. I call them pistons underneath each manual. So they have their own work. For instance now, let me cancel. Let me start with this. Look at this. This particular button is called cancel. So whatever sound you engage, when you press this, it cancels everything. For instance now, let me engage everything now. When I press this cancel, it removes everything. And this particular sounds, every sound is playable on this great manual, possibly because of the couplers. So when I couple all the sounds of other manuals to the great, we're going to have everything grand. For instance, now let me have the tutti. It brings everything up. So you can hear the way the sound comes up. Now, there is a particular button here. We have the memory bank button. This particular organ has 16 banks, and each of the 16 banks you can register 10 registrations. You can do 10 registrations on each of the banks. For instance, now on every organ, the first bank is always the factory bank and it's mostly locked. But for this particular organ, it's not locked, so it can be altered. But for most organs like sinus and some other organs, they are always locked. And meaning that you can't actually alter anything. I'm not going to alter anything here, but I'm going to tell you that if you want to save anything, you have this particular button, S. So when you press this S, you can save to these general pistons. All these ones here, they are general pistons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the general pistons. So whatever you save here affects all the manuals. And each of these, we have the individual manual registration buttons. So whatever I save on this particular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 affects this alone. Whatever I save on this one affects this great manual. Whatever I save on this swell affects the swell manual. Whatever I save here affects this solo alone. So that's the way it is. And if I want to change the bank registration, you see a button here, M Bank 1. This is Bank 1. I can change to Bank 2 by plus, Bank 3, Bank 4, Bank 5, Bank 6, 7, 8. I want to show you so that you know that it's 16. So that's the highest bank. So that's like 16 multiplied by 10. So you can actually have 160 sound registration here. So let me return it to memory 1. So now I'm going to cancel. Then look at something here. We have the registration for the pedals. So if I actually want to register anything on the pedal, let me see if there are some registration on the pedal itself. Okay. So there are registrations on the pedals. So that's for the pedals. For pedal only and only. Now these general pistons, we also have a replica of them here. For instance, if you are playing a repertoire and the way you are playing, you cannot engage all these pistons here. You can now engage down. Please, camera, go down. You can now engage them down here. For instance, now go to this end. Yeah. So for instance, you see 1, 2, 3 to 10 to here. So let me have something like, nothing is sounding, but when I engage this, now it's only 8, the stuff is engaged to. Let me cancel. Then instead of me using 1, 2, 3, I can actually be using next, like next to go to 3, to go to 4. Then if I want you to go back, I'll press this previous. So you can see. Then there are some other knobs here, tone knobs down here. We have replica of some couplers here. You can see swell to great. For instance, now let me remove everything here from here. You see that the stops are off. So this is swell to great, choir to great, great to pedal, swell to pedal, choir to pedal, solo to pedal, then solo to great, solo to swell. So these are also the couplers. Then you have solo to choir. Then there's a particular sound I press, tutti. For instance, now I want to press all the sounds out. I'll just press this tutti, and you have something like this. So that is the way it is. Thank you very much for joining me on this channel. See you some other times. God bless you. Bye.